Hey everyone, I'm Cameron from SpeedCubeShop.com, and today we're going to be talking about the stickerless shades comparison between our 5 top-selling 3x3s. Let's get right into it. So I have our 5 top-selling 3x3s over the last 90 days in the order of the RS3M 2020. We have the GAN 11M soft plastic, the GAN 11M UV coated, the QiYi MS 3x3, and then we have the X-Man Tornado version 2. All of these cubes have slightly different stickerless shades, as you can see. And one very common question that I get about stickerless shades are they customizable and what's the difference between different cubes? So I figured that today we would just take a really brief look at them and compare some of the top selling cubes. So stickerless shades are extremely important for your recognition, and even it comes down to your grip, because every manufacturer has their different texture across different cubes. So for example, the RS3M 2020 is a frosted plastic, what we would call it, because the exterior of it has kind of like a semi-gloss to it, but is mostly going to be that frosted texture. Frosted tends to be a less grippy, and the only benefit is that it does hide the scratches better. The GAN 11 that I have here is the soft plastic, which is essentially a silicone texture, very similar to like the back of a phone case. It looks nice and it feels really nice too, but the only downside to this is that we've been told that the grip isn't as good, because if your fingers get a little bit of lubricant on them or get kind of sweaty, it can get a little bit slick in your hand, and the texture can actually wear off after a period of time. Next up, we have the UV coated GAN 11M Pro. This one is really interesting because it has a nice kind of glazed donut look to it. It's very high gloss. It's supposed to be scratch resistant, but in our experience, it is more scratch resistant than your base model, but it is going to be still scratchable if you do treat it as just everyday use and kind of put it in your bag or in your pocket with keys or whatever. But it does look really nice and does have a bit more grip than the other frosted and soft plastic that this cube comes in. So definitely a nice option for the $5 premium that it is costing, but I do think that it would be well worth it if it's available for the cube you're looking for. The QiYi MS 3x3 is again, a little bit more basic. This one is very much a semi-gloss. It's not really frosted, it's not really glossy. It's kind of just like a middle gloss. I guess if I really had to pick one, I would just say that this is just kind of a standard finish. You know, looks nice, pretty reasonable grip, and is somewhat resistant to scratching. The last one on our list is the Tornado version 2. This one is the same as the MS because they're by the same manufacturer, QiYi. It's not really frosted, not really glossy. This one does have more of a shine to it than the MS does. Overall, it has nice grip and is a really nice finish. So talking about the shades themselves, people always ask if you can customize the shades of stickerless plastic, and the short answer is no, you cannot. One thing that you can do is, here at SpeedCubeShop, we offer a service called PVC coating available for select customized puzzles, and namely our Unicube, Supernova, and Cosmic variations of each one. And that will actually make the colors a lot more vibrant and therefore recognizable, and actually a lot more scratch resistant, similar to the UV coating, except we do have something called ExoShield overlays that can go above the plastic and make it pretty much 100% scratch proof. So if you're looking for really high scratch resistance and grip, definitely check out PVC coating. With that being said though, let's just do a quick comparison of the sticker shades across these 5 cubes. So looking at the white and the yellow, pretty much the same thing across the board. The one thing to take note of here though is that the Tornado version 2 is a bit more rich, which I personally like, because cubes are mostly going towards this highlighter fluorescent kind of shades, and for me in certain lightings the fluorescent yellow is a little bit hard to distinguish from the white. Looking at the orange and red comparison, my absolute least favorite of these is going to be the MS, which is going to be this one right here. It has more of that pale orange and not extremely distinguishable, whereas the Tornado version 2 is probably going to be my favorite, as a nice vibrant orange and a nice deep red. But I do also really like GAN's rendition of it. The orange is similar to the X-Man Tornado, but the red is not quite as deep, but still recognizable. Lastly, looking at the blue and green, my favorite here is going to be the QiYi MS, because the green is actually lighter and therefore more of a contrast between the blue. Other than that, I mean, they're all pretty much similar. The Tornado is going to be a bit more on the rich side. But yeah, mainly the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because it is important if you have partial color blindness, or you are colorblind, or you're solving in like lots of low light conditions like I usually do. Color scheme really does matter for your recognition and your times. So what you can do at SpeedCubeShop.com is we have a feature called Compare, and you can actually compare side by side the the product images of different products and kind of get a feel for which color shades are right for you. Because I have seen historically that some cubers will, for example, they'll love the MS 3x3, but they don't love the shades. And if they're not willing to go for black plastic, where you can have over 70 different color shades to choose from, you're kind of stuck with it. So definitely some things to consider. Interesting video. I didn't really think I'd make one about this, but it was pretty highly requested as far as customer support goes. So I hope it was able to answer some of your questions. And if you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer them, and see you on the next video.